Hey guys, it's Edie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well, and in today's video we're going to be reading some recent new releases. I'm going to be reading 3 of them today, and they are quite, I'd say, anticipated reads. So let me just go through each one. I've got Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, I've got First Time Caller by BK Borison, and I've got Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. I have already started Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I believe I'm about 70 pages in, and I'm really liking it so far. I don't really have much to say or like a proper description of what the book is about yet, because I'm literally 70 pages through, but I am enjoying it so far. And I feel like it could be a very interesting and very spicy book, especially from what Ali Hazelwood has said about this book. So I'm going to carry on reading this, and then I'm probably going to come back to you guys with an update when I'm halfway through this book. So I'm 150 pages through Deep End, and that is chapter 25 I'm just about to start reading, and I am really liking this. Basically this follows Scarlett, who is a diver for the Stanford, is it Stanford? Yeah, diving team, and then it also follows Lucas, who is on the just swimming team. They end up doing this I think it's some sort of project or research sort of thing with Olive, and Adam is also mentioned in this book, which I absolutely loved seeing them mentioned in this book. It was so much fun seeing. And then they both figure out they're both into really, I guess you could say, kinky things and BDSM. Something happens to Lucas's relationship, so he's no longer in a relationship, and then they make this agreement where they I guess could be friends with benefits. And that's sort of the plot and the basic description of this book. It has started off quite slow, that's one thing I will say, because I'm 150 pages in, and the last chapter, or the chapter before that, was literally the first chapter they kissed. And that's literally all they've done now, but I'm not even halfway through it. I don't mind it being slow, but I know some people aren't the biggest fan of that, but I am really liking it, I'm really enjoying it. And the chapter that they did end up kissing him, it was hot, let me tell you that. And I can tell this book is going to be very steamy and spicy from the little, I guess, things they've said. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but yeah. This is told in first person, but you're only getting Scarlett's point of view, you're not getting Lucas's. So it's not dual POV, but at least it's still first person, because I just feel first person is the best. Well, I prefer reading in first person. I feel it's probably sitting at a 3.5, 3.75, but I do feel it has the potential to be 4 stars. I can't quite give it 4 stars at the moment, because you haven't really seen their relationship or anything like that. I feel especially with a romance book, the relationship in the book makes or breaks it, because that's what the book is about. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to carry on reading some of this tonight. I just wanted to do an update now because I want to have a bath and get into my pyjamas and cozy up in bed. I am working tomorrow, so I'm not really going to have too much time to read the book, but I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to update you tomorrow. I'm probably just going to update you when I finish this book, which will probably be in maybe a day or 2. I don't really know, it just depends how things go. So I finished Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I ended up settling on giving this a 4 stars. I did struggle to get into it at first, kind of. I wasn't too connected to the story, but then once it got going, probably the last I guess 40% of it had me kicking and giggling my feet so much, especially some of the things Lucas was saying to and about Scarlett. It was some of the cutest things, and I feel this is very typical Ali Hazelwood writing, easy to read, easy to follow along. I like the characters. I didn't dislike one character. I thought she was a bit unnecessary at one point. It's Scarlett's best friend and what would you call it? Lucas's ex. That's what it is. So she was involved in certain things. I'm not going to say what because I don't want to spoil it, but she just kept getting mentioned quite a lot, and I feel some parts were a bit unnecessary, and I feel she didn't need to be mentioned as much, and I feel it still would have kept the story the same, because I've seen a lot on social media about this book and about people being like, oh, they didn't like it as much and having things to say about it, and they were also saying it's quite spicy. Yes, it is a spicy book, but like from what I was reading, I was expecting the spice to be like off the charts, but it wasn't as spicy as I thought it was going to be. I've read a lot more spicier books than this, and this was quite tame in comparison. I suppose because they've both got like kinks, you could call it, but it wasn't even that kinky, really. I didn't think, compared to some. So maybe the people who are saying that haven't read like books that are more spicy. I don't really know, but I didn't think it was too spicy for me personally. I always say this about third act breakups, and I'm not the biggest fan of them. I wasn't the biggest fan on this one, but sometimes you've got to think, if this was happening in your real life and you were that person, you'd probably react in the way with like some of the things the characters have done or said or have happened. So I feel like it's almost more realistic in a way, which I know some people don't like in their books. They like to be taken away from it and taken away from their like reality, but it's quite nice to see sometimes characters that are like a bit more imperfect and don't always make the right decisions about, I guess, the relationships, and they kind of freak out. That's all I really have to say about this book at the moment, and I did quite enjoy it, and I did have a fun time while reading it. So I was debating on which book I was going to pick up next, because I really couldn't make my mind up, but I've settled on First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. No reason why I want to pick this up next, I just decided to, and all I know, this is kind of like a Sleepless in Seattle inspired book. Never watched Sleepless in Seattle. I believe it's a film, I'm not really sure, but somehow they're both podcasts or radio hosts or something like that. And I've read Love Light Files by B.K. Borison, and I really liked that. I haven't read the rest of that series because I don't want to read them out of seasons, because those books are kind of like, I guess you could call them seasonal books. But I am very excited to read this because I did really like her writing style in Love Light Farms. So I'm going to start reading this, and I'm just going to come back to you guys when I have an update of some thoughts and feelings and a little description of what this book is about. So it's now like 2 days later, and I only read about 100 pages when I done my, started reading First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Didn't end up reading anything yesterday because I got home from work at probably 6 o'clock, had dinner, and I was just so tired. And I ended up watching Grey's Anatomy. But anyway, I've read 200 pages this morning. I have. So I'm on page just over 200, and I'm roughly now halfway through First Time Caller. This book follows Aiden and Lucy. Aiden is the host of this I guess you could call it romance, I guess almost hotline for a radio show. People call in and they talk about romance. I think it's something along the lines of that. And Lucy has a 12-year-old daughter, and one day she hears her daughter talking on the phone, and she can hear this man she's talking to. She's like, who is she talking to? She goes in there, and ends up she called Aiden to help her mum. So she ends up talking to Aiden while he's doing the radio show thing, and it gets broadcast, and then it kind of goes viral, and everyone just wants Lucy to find love or to see more of Lucy. So then she gets asked by the radio, and then she starts being on the radio show with Aiden to help her find love, and people keep calling in to talk to her. And yeah, this is basically what this book is about, and I am really enjoying that aspect. I think it's a really fun book, and you get snippets of the I guess radio show, the things they're saying to each other through it, and I think that's such a unique thing. And Aiden is already I don't know if you'd say he's in love, but he really, really likes her, and he's definitely fallen first, and I feel he's gonna falling harder as well, because the things he's saying, or not saying, he's not really saying them, he's thinking of them in his POV, are so, I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, I'm loving that. Lucy quite isn't showing that yet, but you can kind of see little sprinklings of, oh, maybe she does like him more than, I guess, a friend, because they're becoming more friends. and then I've just like read a couple of chapters where they end up like going to a bar together, and that was just like so much fun to read. That's what I'm going to say about that, but that's the point I'm roughly at in this book. I just don't really know where this book is sitting with me at the moment though. I can't really think of what I want to rate it. I'm feeling like it's 4 stars at the moment, but I'm not sure if it is quite that. I'm feeling like maybe it's a 3.75. I don't really know how I want to like star rate it at the moment. So let's just go with around that. I'm hoping I can like finish this book today because it's only 200 pages left. So if I just sit down and read, I should be able to finish it. And then tomorrow I'm hopefully going to finish the next book that I'm going to be reading in this. I'm hoping, because I want to read it and I've got things to do, and it's on audiobook on Spotify and I get my hours back tomorrow. So I'm hoping that I can like read and then listen to the audiobook when I'm doing things and then get that finished. So I'm now just going to come back to you guys with my final thoughts and final feelings once I have finished this book. So I finished First Time Caller by B.K. Barson, and I really did end up liking it. I thought it was really sweet, really cute. But one thing I will say, the like conflict at the end kind of did annoy me. I think I said it when I read Deep End. Sometimes the characters need that time to develop, and Aidan did need that time to develop without Lucy, because he had a lot of like things he needed to work through and like come to terms with, I guess you could say. But like reading the acknowledgements at the back, she was like, this is like a letter to like love, not just for like romantic but like family, friends. And I really did think it was, because I just thought it was really beautiful, and like the way like things were written in this was so amazing. I think I'm going to settle on giving this a 4.25 because I don't think it's quite a 4. It's more than a 4 stars, but it's more than a 4.5 stars. So 4.25 for this book. So the next book I'm going to be picking up is Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. I'm not going to be picking this up today, well I might, but I plan on reading it tomorrow and listening to the audiobook, like I said in a previous clip about this. So that is a plan, because this afternoon I just want to sit there and play The Sims. That's what I'm going to do, because I've recently been able to get back onto my Sims like account. So I just want to sit there and play The Sims. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll probably just update you guys halfway through this book. So it's the next day, and it's like in the afternoon, and I've actually finished this now. I basically this morning I went and washed my car, I tidied my room, and I was listening to the audiobook while doing all those things, because this audiobook I believe is like, it's under 15 hours, because on Spotify you get 15 hours, but I set it at 2.5 speed and I managed to finish it. I don't know how long it took me, but yeah, I have finished this one. And basically this book follows Fionn. I never know how to pronounce his name, I'm going with Fionn and Rose. And Fionn is basically this like doctor, I don't know if he's a surgeon or what, he's some sort of doctor, and then like Rose is with like the circus, and she does like tarot card readings, and she also has a little side thing where she likes to go and people, and then I believe she is trying to someone, and then she gets injured herself, and then Fionn ends up like I guess finding her, and he ends up taking her to the hospital and helps her, and he says, oh, why don't you come stay with me so I can look after her, because she can't really, I believe she can't get into her house or something along the lines of that, so she goes to stay with Fionn. And that's kind of the basic of the storyline of it. I ended up rating this book 3 stars, which 3 stars is still a good rating. I did like it, but it's my least favourite of the series. I just feel like it didn't pull as much emotions out of me compared to the other two. I did like both the characters, I didn't really have any problems with them. Also, I just wasn't as connected with them as well. But one thing I was quite worried about going into this was Fionn has this like ex-fiance that he, like, I think she broke his heart or something along the lines of that. And I was really worried he was going to be almost like pining over her and like really just down and be like, oh, do you know, that sort of like vibe. But he wasn't really like that, which I was really happy about. I feel like the best way to consume this book is by like audiobook, because it's just so fun and how it's narrated, because basically it's dual POV, and so there's 2 narrators, but in the other person's point of view they say their lines in their point of view, so it's like a, I don't know, I think there's a word for it, but I don't know how to describe it. So say if you're on Fionn's point of view and Rose says something in his point of view, Rose, the like voice, I guess, actor that narrates Rose, will say Rose's line. So I think that makes a bit more sense that way, I'm not really sure. But I just find them so fun, so engaging, and I absolutely love the audiobooks, especially because I just said they're all under 15 hours. So you can get your 15 hours like free audiobooks if you want to read, or I guess not read, listen to these books with that. This book is also very, very spicy, so if you don't like that sort of thing, you won't like this book or this whole series, because there's some very weird, not questionable, but like some very weird things in this book. And if you've like not read them, just go look at like the content warnings. I don't think she calls them, I don't know if they're called content warnings and trigger warnings, because it's a very like interesting and unique take, I guess you could say. I don't have anything else to say about Scythe and Sparrow by Brimweaver, so let me just go through all the 3 books I read and what I rated each one. So the first book was Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I gave this a 4 stars. Then there was First Time Caller by BK Borison. I gave that 4.25 stars. And then the last book was Scythe and Sparrow by Brimweaver, and I gave this a 3 stars. So overall, it was quite decent reading vlog. Got 2 4 stars and a 3 star, so can't really complain with that. And I did enjoy all of these, but really not enjoy anything about them. Well, apart from the 3rd act breakup in these 2, that kind of did annoy me, but I've said my piece about them. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!